Bonjour, welcome to Spooky Friday. I'm DMC, I'm an artist based in Atlanta. I do anime, realism, and illustration. If you'd like to check some of my artwork, I'm gonna put down below the link of my social media and my portfolio. I don't know what's more scary, the movie I'm gonna be telling you guys about or my hair, to be honest. So this is a new segment or a new series that I'm trying to create. I'm a very passionate person about scary movies. I am that type of person that when there is a bonfire, you're like a camper, you're telling scary stories and you're scared but you still want to hear more. Yeah, I'm that type of person. So it's like I'm scared but at the same time I'm not, but I'm scared. Okay? So just a warning, there's going to be a lot of spoilers alert, kind of like a lot of things that I'm going to be throwing out there. I think you guys already seen this movie, but for the future videos, next movies I'll be talking about, it's going to be movies that I'm going to be giving out a lot of information and it's going to be spoilers, obviously. So while I'm talking, I'm going to put some artwork because I guess I just love to draw, and I every time I'm watching a scary movie that I'm rewatching every time, I'm rather drawing or doing something. So for me, art and scary movies are like my everything. So I'm going to be putting some artwork if just in case you guys see, and I want to talk today about one of my favorite movies. And if you guys can know like how many people have seen how much I've rewatched this movie, you guys will be like, what? I've watched this movie over, I guess, to be honest, 50 times. And I believe I like the format, and it's called Grave Encounters. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this movie, to be honest. I think back in the days the movies were really good, to be honest. Like, it's just, I think the most they add the more CGI to stuff, it takes away the reality. So obviously there's some kind of cheesy areas of this movie that is like doesn't make sense. It kind of look funny, but I'm aware this movie had a really low budget. So that's one of the movies I'm going to be talking today. And it's the one from Grave Encounters from 2011. This movie was directed by the Vicious Brothers, and to be honest, one of my favorite because of the format, which is a found footage. I really like found footage, just like we can say the Blair Witch Project, which we'll talk about that one later in another video. But what I like about Grave Encounters is that it's very on the unknown, that this can happen to anyone, just because you just hear rumors about things and you don't believe it, and then you can be one of those people that goes along with oh, you know what, I'm gonna work as a cameraman, and then you end up in this situation. Just sucks. So let's talk about Grave Encounters, and if it's DMC approved, of course it's gonna be a DMC approved because I already said it's my favorite. So this movie was made, just like I said at the beginning, made with very low budget. Everything is the same area, just in a asylum, same area, just walking hallways, just hearing noises. And then there is a point that a climax, and then you start seeing like the really like paranormal stuff happening. And it's just like a very low quality as well, so I know it was back then 2011, but it's just crazy how much, because of the low quality. And like I believe why it was so good is because the characters and all the actors, they have really good chemistry. You could buy the whole thing and to believe like, oh my god, this is really true. So the characters was Lance Preston, which is the main character. Other one is Sasha Parker. She's like the support characters. I know I'm kind of talk like it's League of Legends, you need a supporter or something like that, and that is a healer. Well, she is the character that's by his side until the end. Not really into the end, but kind of semi in the end, because that was an interesting way how she vanishes. So the other one is TC, the camera guy. I feel bad for him, to be honest. He's one of the characters that will be me. I can see myself as TC. So, and then there is Houston, the guy that is the sidekick, kind of like the scammer that, he's the one who feels there is power happening. I can feel the spirit type of guy, you know. And then there is Matt, the guy, the camera guy, the tech guy that he's the one who kind of fixed the whole thing, the cameras and the settings and everything else. So the whole movie starts that they found their footage. Apparently, Grave Counters or Les Preston was hired to do a TV show, and unfortunately, they just disappeared. They found the footage, which was over 72 hours, I believe. Blah blah blah, and they're just like, whatever you're gonna see is actually real. You're really like, okay, it kind of sounds like the Blair Witch, but you're like, it's already real. They're already telling you, oh, this is actually what's happening, right? So they start showing us what actually the whole crew is about. So apparently there's scammers. They're actually never been in a situation that there is actually ghosts. But Lance keeps saying that he is, you know, he do his introductions, kind of the whole cast, the whole thing that he had been living and he knows since he was younger about ghosts and everything. So they're just showing that on the past time they haven't had any activities before. So they don't believe in, well, not they, but more like he doesn't believe in ghosts in real life. So whenever they have the opportunity to have this series, which is the Collingwood Psychiatric Hospital, they heard rumors that there is a lot of activity happening. So of course they get people to have an interview, and they kind of show the background of the story with Dr. Franklin, I think is how you say his name. Again, my pronunciation. And the thing is, he have apparently a very lengthy kind of background that he have done before to patients lobotomies, which apparently back in the day lobotomies were okay. People would do lobotomies to kind of fix yourself because apparently in real life they use lobotomy to famous people just to make them fit on society. So in this case, in this movie, apparently Dr. Franken, he used to do lobotomies or experimental kind of things to his patients. And unfortunately, the patients that were in this psychiatric asylum hospital, they were left people there because people just give up on them in life. So he would take advantage of these people and just do crazy things on them, which it turned out, spoiler alert, he will do some satanic kind of stuff on it. So he would just do crazy things. So it was not just, you know, doing lobotomies, it was beyond, you know. So apparently one of the people that were a patient just escaped one night and just killed him. And nobody, or it was not informed in the news, because apparently there was something else going on. I think it was the death of a basketball player or something like that. And they proceed to, you know, go inside and then just show how the asylum looks. You know, it looks pretty abandoned, and they have the caretaker to show them the rooms, and he kind of go in every room and kind of tell you what's going on, you know, what happened, what he have heard. And then they have the contractor in there that he have tried to fix, he was contracted to do something to remodel the place, but everybody just dropped on him because apparently everybody was just having some paranormal activity experience, which I don't blame him. If I hear something like that happen, I would just leave. I don't care, dude. If I lose my job, I would not work in a place where there is like activity happening. So besides that, he kind of tells that if he doesn't kind of believe it, you know, and they found these two teenagers kind of tell him their experience when apparently they were younger. They were just having a make-out session in a abandoned asylum. I'm like, are you kidding me? And they saw a guy floating, you know. He's like, oh, we saw a guy with a white gown just floating. I'm like, what are you doing there, you know? Anyways, so he's, you know, telling his experience, and the girl as well. So he's like, oh, well, it seems like this is just, you know, common. This is a very place that have a lot of activity. So, and this is the part that I just kind of like laughed. It was that they found this gardener outside just fixing the whole, you know, outside grass and everything. And he was dead honest. They asked him like, hey, have you seen anything? And he's like, no, I have not seen anything. everything is fine. I just start working here. And that's when Lance give him like money so he can pretend in the camera that he have seen things, which is kind of tell you a little of the setting that everything is just, Lance takes it everything to the joke and kind of make up things just to make it look more than what it is. And then they do like a time shot. So TC is outside just playing around, I think, with Matt. And Lance asks him, just try to do a time lapse outside, so he will have to look around and just make sure to see and make a video of the time lapse of the building. They do the time lapse, blah, blah. And now it's nighttime. These people, they move into the asylum. And not move in like living, but they just bring the whole equipment. They have Matt setting up the whole cameras to all the places that they said that there was a activity happening, a ghostly activity. You can see the caretaker just saying, at 6 a.m. sharp, he'll come and unlock them. I'm like, unlocked? Excuse me, who are you unlocking? So yes, they got locked in the asylum with chains. So that's when TC just got really mad, and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you locking us in an asylum? So he got locked in the asylum, everybody, till 6 a.m. Wow. So after that, they just go, going like a whole round around, like going through the hallways, recording, making their sessions. Like if there's some ghost, please speak up, move things, giving power to the ghost to do things. I'm like, excuse you, you don't do that. One of the rules of the ghost things is that don't ask them, don't taunt them to do things. But well, in this part, they're just like, if you can, we're not here to harm you, just move this, do this, and blah blah. So apparently in certain time there has been like no activities, and they're just walking back and forth, and you can see all the like areas of a camera, kind of like where Matt put all the cameras of every room, and nothing is happening, right? Well, I believe this happens at 3 a.m. because I kind of checked on the time below. They have like a little timestamp, and it's just, moving. And as soon as that window opened, I think that's when all the activities start happening. I don't know if somebody jumping out of the window or somebody is coming into the window, but as soon as that window opens, the whole place starts having an activity. So our crew, they're like downstairs just having some fun, they're just recording, just talking and blah, blah, blah. So they're asked to do another round, to walk around, blah, 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 again by themselves. And apparently TC is on his own. He got a phone call from his girlfriend. Apparently her baby can't sleep, and they put the camera below, and you can see that wheelchair starts moving. So there's already activity happening. And then he goes to this room and he starts feeling cold. So one of the rules, not one of the rules, but in the rules of the paranormal kind of community, there is some cold spots. That's when there is an activity happening, like there's probably a ghost, a demon. Apparently it's a demon. What I learned from the whole Conjuring universe is that when it's cold, it's a demon. No, it's when it stinks, it's a demon. So it starts getting cold, and as soon as he turn around, the door shuts by itself, and it seems that door is heavy. It's you have to push it. Somebody have to push it. Somebody have to do something with it. So that's the very first activity they capture, and of course, they're like, just do it again. Lance is trying to pressure for them to do it again, and apparently nothing happens, and then somehow it starts to happen. There is noises and everything, and then just moving forward, I guess the ghost like Sasha somehow, because she started doing like a recording asking like, hey, is there somebody here? And her hair lifts up. I'll dip, I'll leave as soon as that hair, I will not even be there. So her hair lift up, and she just one side like, hello, how are you? And she just start running, and of course she doesn't want to be there, as I should. Yeah, I will be like that too. And apparently that's when you can kind of tell that Houston is just a liar. He's like, I'm scared too, I want to leave. But no, they ask him to be on camera as well, so they had to drop her off into the entrance with Matt and just kind of like record the session to be like, oh, can you lift my hair too? That's what Lance asked him while he's holding the camera. He's asking for the ghost to kind of do the same thing, because they're trying to capture as much as they can of activities. So back to it, nothing happens, blah blah blah. And then they're like, you know what, time to wrap it up. You know, we had enough activity, so TC wants to leave already. He's tired and blah blah blah. So they start packing up everything, and somehow they ask Matt, you know, to start packing everything up, and by himself. They send him by himself to go start packing everything up. I will not do it myself. But somehow they said that try to call walkie-talkie, but previously the walkie-talkies were not working. But somehow in this area it was working, because what's going on with the asylum is that it moves, shift places. It lives in a different dimension, so of course it's always out of range. But in this moment, since they were in the same area, they just, you know, go. He takes his walkie-talkie, he tries to use it, and it worked. But then he goes and go pick up every cameras, which unfortunately that's where he just, you know, somehow he went to where the window opened, and then somehow he got distracted, and he just goes like staring at one area. He just leaves, and just the camera's catching that, and I guess he got possessed. But after that, they're trying to open the, like, their TC is getting very irritated. He wants to leave, and I guess it's already 6 a.m. and the caretaker doesn't show up. So he starts getting very aggressive, which I fully understand. That will be me. And they try to break the door, because remember the door were locked, and it seems like the doors were locked and they couldn't open it. So they were kicking it like really strong, and they find out that as soon as they kicked it, it's in another room, which is completely impossible. They find out that the whole thing is just going around in circles, and it's like everything is not making sense. Matt is lost, and that's when they're trying to look for an exit. Unfortunately, in this asylum, you know, there is no escape unless you get better. So that's whether you have to go with a lobotomy or the Dr. Franklin have to do something to fix you. But that's the rules in the asylum. You can leave, you can enter, but you cannot leave. So they were trying to get an exit, and unfortunately nothing happens. There is always the exit, but somehow it's covered with something else. Like, for example, the fire escape, there shows the stairs and where the exit is, and there is like something covered, so you cannot escape. So it's like it's just getting very like claustrophobic for me when I'm watching. Like, oh my god, you know, there is no escape, and then you getting like very frustrated because it's like you're stuck in a place. So obviously one by one they start vanishing, which first is Houston, when they encounter the very first kind of like monster girl, kind of distorted face. They got scared, they split up, and that's when Houston got split up, and that's when he get lifted and kind of like shocked. I guess that's kind of like a showing that that's how crazy some of these unfortunately people were in there, and they just kill patients. So there's kind of portrayed that he got lifted in the air, and then he got, you know, pushed and kind of like hit, and then suddenly Sasha start having like scratch marks, like kind of like weird things. She start getting sick, so that's probably what I interpret, that she's getting sick is probably getting sick of all the medicine they're giving people in this asylum. And then kind of like they found Matt. Unfortunately, he's kind of messed up. Apparently he went to lobotomy, but he was not fixed, so he was not let out. Matt is completely a different person. He looks kind of like gone. He's talking just nonsense. And apparently there was this area at the beginning that they were telling you that a girl died, unfortunately, and that there was like the tub, and unfortunately I think Matt was just staring at it, and TC tried to help him out to remove him out of the way, and he just got dragged on the bathtub. And when they try to flip the bathtub, there was nothing there. I hate that, like the unknown. That reminds me of one of my other favorite movie, which is So Above, So Below. That's one of the movies I watch it so many times. But yeah, it's kind of like the unknown, like you just get dragged or disappeared. So that's how unfortunately TC disappeared out of nowhere, and I feel like that was the character I kind of connected more, because I can see myself just being mad, being there, and just and kind of like just disappear out of nowhere just because you were a cameraman, just because you were trying to make a living. That sucks, you know. But after that, they encounter another another ghost, kind of scary. His tongue was on the floor. He was just in the air, kind of like Spider-Man, you know, just sitting there. I don't know what the hell. So then I believe at that moment Lance had to hold him back because they were trying to get through the elevator, and unfortunately Lance went mad, just jump. He just jumped in the air and just got, you know, he didn't make it obviously, but I think that's how he was just tired of feeling like that. He just unfortunately just ended. And I think that kind of reflects what happens, you know, in some asylums like that you just can't deal with anything and you just lose it. So now it's just, you know, Lance and Sasha, but Sasha's already sick, very sick. She started just coughing everywhere, just blood, unfortunately. And she disappears like a smoke. Like, you just see like a smoke coming in, like fog, like just fog, and she just disappear. So I think that's kind of representing the fog of your like head, kind of like you can't remember anything, you just vanished. That's what I interpreted, right? So now it's just Lance there, just Lance on his own, going all crazy, laughing, screaming, and he records himself like, what do you guys want? And apparently everybody just, there is a lot of spirits in that area, which is just crazy. And he's just eating rats and just blah blah blah. And I guess at the end of just walking, going all crazy, he found the door, which is the door of where the Dr. Franken is. And he gets a lobotomy. He get caught and they do a lobotomy. And at the end, he's just crazy, holding the camera, saying, this last Preston, I'm in and out. He thinks because he got a lobotomy, he's free, he's okay. But apparently I don't think so, because you don't leave that place. So yeah, that was very interesting ending. So in the end, you can kind of see that there was a lot of things going on beside lobotomy. They were having some conjuring things happening in there, like some summoning, I don't know, some weird happening in there with a lot of skulls and you know, witchcraft kind of things. So it was the reason why I rewatch is that you really like, you know, there are some movies that makes you feel like it could be you. But yeah, that was it. That was an interesting movie. I really liked it. I've watched it plenty of times, and it's scary, but it's not scary. Like, it's scary on the way that this can happen to you, and not like anytime. But it's not scary because there was not a lot of like demons and stuff like that, or kind of horror, like gutty, kind of like, you know what I'm trying to say, like a lot of blood. So yeah, this was my story, the story about, well, more like the review or spoiler about Grave Encounters. I really enjoy scary movies and stuff like that. So I think if you are very much into the found footage movies, and kind of like, if you haven't watched it yet, I just give you the whole story. But this movie is really good. I really enjoy it, and I still find it fascinating, and it just adds to the list of my favorites, you know. So thank you for watching this video, me just talking to you passionately about this movie, what I like and what I just will not be. Of course, this is DMC approved because I'm telling you about it. It's my favorite. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir, la prochaine.